Robin Donovan, Signs of the Times Editor-in-Chief, and with me today is...
I'm Adolfo Nodal, and I'm a neon producer. I produce neon in this country and in Cuba. So I've got sort of a double interest right now. Only neon, but in two places.
Yeah, so pretty unusual to be a neon producer in 2020. What's that like?
Well, I produced a lot of public art in my career, hundreds of pieces around the country. And when I about 4 or 5 years ago, I started to really focus on neon just because I love it. And I haven't really had a full practice dealing with neon, although I've done a lot of neon over the years. I wanted to try to explore that and work with artists that are creating neon, because it's a really interesting neon artwork being produced at this point, all over America, all over the world, really. So it's an interesting type of work. And, you know, I love, like anybody else, I love that glow when it gets turned on. So
yeah, for sure. I think that's like the siren call of neon, right? Is that nothing else really creates that same color and that same feel.
yeah.
So we got connected because you sent me a recent press release and you've had some changes in your business based on COVID and some other factors. So tell me how that has evolved since you sent that out, or what's going on.
Well, we started about 5 years ago. An artist friend of mine from Cuba. I basically work with artists. I mean, I produce a lot of stuff, but I'd like to work with artists as partners in doing things. So I have a friend in Havana who has a practice that he wanted to sort of get out of the studio and move out to the streets. And both of us decided that you know, the neons in Havana really needed some tender, loving care. And about 5 years ago, we started fixing signs just for the hell of it. You know, we just basically recreated the first first new shop in Havana, a neon shop in Havana in over 50 years, and opened up a little shop and started fixing the theater signs all over the city just for fun. And slowly that led to people getting really turned on to neon, and a whole discussion in the city about bringing back the memory of the city. And it's just one of those things that just sort of just kept going, you know, just really to the point now where we fixed about 100 of them.
Yeah. So how did you get the money for this at the beginning? That was one of the things I was wondering.
We're doing it all ourselves. I mean, we're putting our own money into it.
Wow. Are you like revered in this community for all of your philanthropy?
But basically, you know, in Cuba, it's a lot lower cost to do everything. So my partner, he's got an art practice and he's selling a lot of art. And I work for a living, and I'm in the travel business as well. So I'm putting my piece of it in. And about 6 months ago, the government of Cuba, the government of Havana, asked us to take over an old theater called the Rex Duplex, which is one of the, you know, the most important art deco theaters in the city. The thing was going to fall down. It was really falling. I mean, the roof had caved in and all of that. So they said either take it or we're going to tear it down. So we had this incredible pressure on us to take it. So we started fixing it up and created the city's first neon museum. And it's called the Rex Duplex Theater. And if anybody is interested in maybe you can put a link up to Havana Light project. So we're slowly fixing it, and it ended up being a pop-up because after COVID, we decided we couldn't really keep it going. I mean, we really were counting on tourism dollars to maintain it, and we over a year we ran it. We had over 1,000 tourists there, 1,000 visitors, paid visitors coming to visit. So we really decided that it would be better for us really to focus on outdoor projects in the city instead of running an arts institution that we can't really raise the funds for at this point. So we're giving the building back to the city. We fixed it. So hopefully another really interesting project will happen there. And we're back out on the streets trying to find old neon to fix in the city and creating new ones.
So is that in Havana, or you're also in LA, right?
That's in Havana.
Okay.
In LA, I've done a lot of neon projects over the years. You know, I did the Lumens project where we restored about 130, 168 historic neon rooftop signs all over the city. Uh, that was a big project. It took me 20 years to do it. And they're all over LA at this point. All the rooftops down the Wilshire Corridor, Hollywood, and downtown. We restored them over a period of 20 years. So I'm sort of sitting around here with COVID and I got nothing to do and freaking out about dying and all of that stuff. And an interesting artist just wrote to me, said, I've got an idea for a neon rainbow. Let's do something interesting for the city as a COVID response. So we're in the process of doing that right now. We just got we spent about 3 months trying to get the facade of the 2nd Street tunnel in Los Angeles, the Hill Street facade of the 2nd Street tunnel. After 3 months, it's obvious that we're not going to be able to do it there. So we're moving to the 3rd Street tunnel. We decided.
Okay.
So we're in the process of refiguring it out. And, you know, I'm into bringing neon to the world. You know what? I think neon is such an important thing for people to see it, and a lot of different versions of it, not just the signs. I mean, the signs are really awesome. I mean, I'm a sign nut, and any sign that I see broken, I want to fix. I mean, during the Lumens project, you know, we just did what's called a windshield survey. Just drove around all over the city looking for signs that were still sitting on top of buildings, and slowly but surely we fixed about 180 of them.
Wow.
In LA. So
yeah. And so what do you think about the state of neon today? I mean, this is, you know, as I've watched our publication, our media brand, Signs of the Times, evolve over the years, honestly, there's less and less neon. I don't think the love for neon has died, but I think it's kind of shifted a bit into more of a specialty type of thing. There are still some neon vendors. I'm in Portland, Oregon. There's a neon vendor at Ramsey Signs here in town, but there's not as many. Where do you kind of see it all going? Because, you know, we're seeing interest among younger people and students, and yet like LEDs, they're cheap and, you know, they're kind of commoditized at this point. So what's your opinion about the future of neon?
well, neon, you know, is just one of these. I mean, it was an industrial art, folk art project, folk art practice basically when it started, and we became an industrial lighting thing, and it eventually. It's become, I consider it a folk art at this point. It's stuff that's made by people, that's made by hand and put up, you know, by hand. So I think there's always going to be neon. I think there's going to be, I think the signage, neon signage is really special for a city, and we're never going to lose that. I don't think that's ever going to go away. But neon is something that people are thinking about in different ways and interesting new ways. In fact, I'm working on an exhibition right now called Punk Neon, because a lot of artists that are doing neon art or using neon in a way that neon's never been set up to use before. So there's a lot of experimentation going on with neon right now, and I think that's going to lead to more interesting and exciting things. And the whole issue of LEDs, no, we don't like LEDs. A lot of us don't like LEDs, but my hunch is that because the design is bad. I mean, I think with good design, you can do anything. So I'm looking forward to seeing some beautiful signs developed with LED lighting. And I think eventually we'll get people to think about it beyond just, you know, cheap lighting that you can put up and really quick slapdash and put it up. I mean, it deserves attention as an art element. And I think, you know, interesting people will do something interesting with LED eventually.
For sure. So we've just got like 1 more minute or so. Do you have any favorite neon signs in the world that stand out to you?
Oh my gosh. Well, my favorite neon sign, I think, is the Bendix sign, which is off of Figueroa and Pico in LA. It's a 55-foot tall sign, straight up. It's like the word Bendix. I'll find a picture of it for you.
Yeah, great.
So that's one of my favorite signs because it's so tall and so red. You know, an exclamation point for LA.
Yeah. So what do you think, like, when you see like a sign, you're like, that's a great sign. It's a great neon sign. What is that? Define what makes a great
What is
neon
it?
sign.
I think I think part of it is standing out from the crowd. I mean, sort of creating something that people actually can see and really can identify individually outside of all of the energy that's out there with light in the city. So the Bendix is one of those things. It's just like a giant exclamation, 55-foot tall exclamation point on the city of LA. So I think that kind of focus, that kind of type of sign that really makes things stand out. And that's what neon does best.
I agree. So Adolfo, if people want to learn more about your work, give us your URL again, and I will also put it at into the video somehow.
Well, you can go to Habana Light Neon, HABANA LIGHT neon. If you put that in your computer, you'll find a lot of my work. And then if you Google historic neon signs of Los Angeles, there's a list that'll come up that's got over 300 signs that we've worked on in LA when I was.
You've done so many that all we have to do is Google neon in LA and we'll find you.
Yeah, you'll find the historic neon, the historic signs basically. It was a restoration project.
Awesome. Well, Adolfo, thank you so much for your time. This has been fabulous.
Excited to talk to you, Robin. Talk soon.